Hi there, my name's Rachel. I work for GC Couture. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a 5-tier wedding cake. So you want to start off with your classic vanilla sponge. Just got a 10-inch cake board here. And a cake board, the same size as the cake you're going to be using. You can use a cake board or a cake card. And then using a small amount of buttercream, you want to place your cake directly on top, making sure it fits in nicely. So slice your cake. And a little cake decorator's tip is to use some cocktail sticks. If you place one in the top and one in the bottom, especially if it's a round cake, you know exactly where you took your cake off, so when you put it on top it will still be nice and level. Put a nice generous amount in the middle of your cake. And then the same with your jam. This is just strawberry jam, but you can put any flavour you like inside. And taking your palette knife again, just smooth it over. And then making sure you aim your cocktail sticks around the same way. Place your cake directly on top. And just gently push it down. You don't want to make it out of shape, so just gently press on. Make sure you take your cocktail sticks out. And then we're going to do a method called dirty icing, which is where you cover the whole entire cake with buttercream. That just helps the sugar paste to stick on all around the outside. So you don't want it to be too thick, because you don't want it to be all splurgy underneath. So you just want a thin layer. I start off by doing it on the top, just putting it over the edge slightly. So make sure you've got your buttercream at a nice consistency. You don't want it too runny, you don't want it too hard so it doesn't spread nicely. And then you want to take an amount around the side, just making sure that you're filling in all the gaps. I'm going to go around every side. And at this stage it's just a rough buttercream where you're filling in the edges. And then afterwards you scrape up all the excess, giving it a nice smooth area to work on when you come to sugar pasting. So once all your sides are roughly covered, you want to just clean your palette knife off and start from one edge and scrape the buttercream off and work your way around the corner. So you want to make sure you get a nice corner, so just go back on that. Just making sure it's got a nice edge. And you want to do that all the way around the cake. And then when it comes to the top, you want to work away from the side. So if you clean your palette knife off, I'll show you this angle, you just want to go straight across the top, making sure you get a nice crisp edge. You want to go straight across, keep turning it around, go straight across on every side. Then you don't have too much buttercream caught underneath. And then where you have buttercream on your board, lay your knife flat. You don't want that all underneath the sugar paste. Make sure you get the border nice clean. Okay, so now we're going to sugar paste your dirty ice cake. So it's probably better off if you use some icing spacers, just so your icing is all the same thickness. I'll take my rolling pin. Make sure you put plenty of ice and sugar down so your sugar paste doesn't stick to your work surface. So start off by working your paste first of all, just give it a little knead. This just softens up the paste, and in case there's any hard lumps in there, smooth them all out, and it gives you a nice smooth surface to work on. So make sure your icing sugar is all covered, and then you want to take your rolling pin, press firmly on the top, making sure you give a nice even pressure all over the paste, and continuously turn it round. So we're trying to get a circle shape into a square, just so it's a nice area. And when you're rolling out, just make sure you do it in smooth movements, don't do it jerky because you'll end up with grooves in your icing. So when it's all the same thickness, turn it down once more. When it's all the same thickness, if you turn your spacers up the other way so it's thicker, when you lay your rolling pin on top, ready to pick up your icing, it won't actually be touching it, so it won't be leaving any dents. Pull one side over so you can pick up your sugar paste and place it over the cake, making sure it's all the way to the bottom of it. And you can lift your cake onto your board. Give it a gentle smooth on the top first of all, and then you want to concentrate on your corners. So if you bring your icing in, gently press, making sure you've got that nice corner showing. So you want to smooth out any creases, spread out your icing. And this is the same for a round cake, and on the corners of a square cake, you just make sure your icing's spread out so you haven't got any creases in it at all. And then you want to take a cake smoother, and this one's got a corner on it, just so you can stick it into your icing to make a nice smooth edge. So you want to work on one side, making sure that you're pressing your icing down so there's no air being trapped underneath, and you're making a nice straight edge at the bottom of your cake. And you want to do that for every single side. So as you turn, make sure that no air is being trapped under. Press down into your icing. And then before attempting to smooth over your cake, you want to cut off all that excess icing around the edge of the board. So I've got an angled palette knife, and if you hold that flat against your cake, and score across each edge, so you're cutting off all that excess paste nice and close to your cake, so you get a nice neat edge. And then you can take off all of your excess paste. Make sure you put that back in the bag so it doesn't dry out. And then bringing your turntable back, place your cake on top, and you want to use your smoother, making sure you're using it nice and flat, and you want to work your edges of your cake. So you're just smoothing, making sure you've got nice straight edges all the way around. And you want to work on not getting a nice straight line on the top, nice straight corners, and a nice edge on the top of the cake as well. So when you're pressing on the top of the cake, don't press too firmly. You want to smooth every side. And there you have your dirty ice cake.